Oh,
Apparently
she
she
can't.
can't.
Yeah, that
Can't hear me.
helps. Yeah,
Okay.
I keep forgetting to do that. My bad.
No,
So
Did I just mess up the stream?
no, 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 no.
no,
It was a
you.
setting that I forgot to turn on.
Ah, Joe.
So yeah, so the foundlings are being trained at the beginning of episode 4, and I was surprised that Mando just like threw Grogu in there. He's like, "Yo, go train now." You know, he's like honestly, they're trying to portray him like Spartans. You know, like put them to the test now. You know what I mean?
Go. Mm.
Just go Ivan Drago on them. If he dies, he dies. But
Oops.
so Grogu goes through this like pseudo training, and he tells them like, "Hey, don't be afraid. Show them what you should. Show them what I see you can. Show them what I know. Like he saw him running around. Well, actually, did you guys watch Book of Boba Fett or no?
No,
Yes.
I've been wanting to watch it, but
So
I haven't checked it out yet.
I didn't watch it, but I did some homework, and in Book of Boba Fett, you see like Grogu doing some straight up some Jedi shit.
Yes. Yeah, where he's training with.
He's training with
Luke
Luke.
and
Yeah.
that girl I keep forgetting the name of. Rosario Dawson.
Ahsoka. Yeah, Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, yeah.
Ahsoka Tano.
So well, what's wrong with your speakers? What's wrong? Sarah, holy Jesus? Am I
She
too
has
loud?
old man hearing, so it's maxed up to the max.
Ah. So he said it, all right. Say what you will about him, Sariel. I will not ban anything you say about him. What's up, Two Wolves? Allie, what's up?
Oh shit, there's two of them.
There's two of them.
It's the name Two Wolves.
Oh, they're two wolves.
So
All right, guys, we're just trying to get our story straight here. That's all.
That's good.
so after this happens, Mando tells Grogu, "Hey, it's okay. Show them what you can do." And then you see the stock jumping around. You know, it's awkward. It's a little bit funny the way they do it, but like I said, I think it's a callback to the way that they used to do things in the 70s, right? And then Dragonborn shows up and kidnaps one of the foundlings, and the chase is on from then. But obviously, to me, one of the biggest highlights of the episode, and like I said, episode 4, guys, I'm just running through it so we can get to episode 5. So if you want to add anything, you want any comments, there was no sound, and then y'all blasted my car speaker. Sorry, Sariella. Apologies about that. Really happy to see where you're concentrated on driving. That's great. Appreciate it.
Stupid.
Please be careful. So yeah, but the biggest thing about the episode for me was obviously the Grogu flashback, back to Order 66 and all that stuff. And he was saved by some Jedi. We're supposed to know who he is. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me out with that.
Joe.
I have no idea.
Wait, repeat that again?
The Jedi that saves Grogu during the Order 66.
I mean, there's speculation, but
Oh no, yeah.
You think he was just meant to be unknown?
Oh no, I know the story behind the actor. I know that story, but the actual Jedi.
If we're gonna use,
No, that's what I mean.
Because of the way his hand was, I might be mistaken. Again, just like I thought in The Last of Us, there was a throwback to whatever. It might be, and his name is not coming to me now. But in Rebels, there's this guy who's like a Jedi, but he forgets his training. Daniel, what's his name?
I don't know.
Not like Jared or something. I don't know. Jal or something. Anyways, he's part of the Rebels. So I thought maybe
Jarul?
Jarul.
Just I don't know.
I thought maybe that
It really sounded like that's what you were trying to say.
I mean, there because you caught me off guard with that
Apparently,
question.
what's it?
But
Apparently, the
I
Jedi's
think
name was Kelleran Beck.
Yeah, that's
Kelleran.
it. Kelleran Beck. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Does that ring any bells to anyone? Does anyone know this? No? Okay.
No.
But what I will say was pretty cool if you guys didn't know.
Corral.
Okay.
I mean, if I pull out my X-wing behind me and just go through the cards, he's there. He mans the ghost. He's one of the ghosts. Well, no, Shandula is manning the ghost. He's part of that crew. Does it ring a bell, Daniel? The name, like I gotta look it up now.
No, I'm trying. I'm looking it up as you're talking. But you can go ahead. You keep going.
So, a fun fact that some of you may already know is that the actor who portrayed that Jedi at that time, that's actually the guy who played Jar Jar Binks in the first in episode 1, 2, 3. And there was some social media posts about him saying like how that role actually pushed him to a point where he was considered taking his own life. People hated on him so much, and they were giving him so much shit. And this was like his redemption. Like John Favreau, Disney, LucasArts were all like, "Yo, this is your moment. This is your scene," and I thought it was nice. I appreciated it.
Same thing for young Anakin. That kid later on when he went to school was like teased for like
Oh yeah.
high school year. It was horrible.
That's so.
Um.
You gotta play Darth Vader, huh? Push.
So that happened, and then he took him to this. He says, I know somewhere that's safe." He takes him to like a silver ship, and am I crazy, or wasn't that Padme's ship?
Padme, yeah.
It looked like her ship, no? Like the silver
Well, I thought
ship.
it was her ship in the previous episode when they go to Coruscant. I'm like, oh yeah, I know that ship, and I'm like, oh, I guess it's
Okay, so
standard class silver bullet ship. I mean, I don't know.
it's their Civic. Got it. So it's their Honda Civic. So yeah, so that happened, and then we come back after the flashback, and we see I mentioned this last time in the previous stream how while they're going through warp space, him and Grogu, he sees this like homage or like something floating around in the blue space. I'm guessing we'll figure out what that is at some point later on because it's not addressed after that. And then we come back, and one of the foundlings is kidnapped by Dragonborn, and then they set out. They create a war party, the Mandalorians, and they go after the child to try and get the child back. And I thought it was a nice episode. I thought it was good. I just have a lot of of reserves about the plot and a couple of plot holes that I found, which is kind of ridiculous. But the thing I liked most about the episode was how they really focused on the Mandalorian creed. And for me personally, watching that episode, the words that they keep repeating, which sounds stupid and foolish sometimes, and they keep saying this is the way, I was like, oh wow, okay, that's great. But in that episode, for some reason, it kind of resonated better. Like to me, I understand why you keep saying this is the way now. You know what I mean? So, or at least it hit home with me for some reason. And they made Bo-Katan the leader of the war party. They get the child, they bring him back, and Din Djarin and Bo-Katan redeem themselves. They're reintroduced into the Mandalorian cult with success, and she breaks the news to I don't even know what her name is. The person who's always at the forge. What's her name?
The armorer.
The armorer. They call it the armorer.
Pretty much.
Okay.
That's what they basically said in the last episode. Like, what's it? Just when Bo-Katan is about to go and see her, or not Bo-Katan, but when that other dude tells him, like, yeah, so and so needs to see you. He literally calls her the armorer.
Okay, so the Bo-Katan tells the armorer, "Hey, I saw a mythosaur, by the way," and then camera zooms in on her face, nice pan, and bam, episode's over. So, overall, to me, very good episode. Like I said, some plot holes that pissed me off, like small things, like for instance, okay, you're Mandalorians. Apparently, this is not the first time a child was taken. Why the fuck didn't you leave? Why don't you people defend against this? Why didn't you go hunt this thing before? But anyways, it's like I had so many questions about that.
I think they weren't hunting them because their jetpacks like gave out and they couldn't find the actual location of the big thing's lair.
Yeah, that was the first one. Right? Like then they were saying, I had made that same comment. I'm like, these poor people, like wherever they're living. Well, this is their new spot, right?
Yeah.
And, like, we see already this massive alligator beast thing in one of the earlier episodes. Now they're getting attacked by the air. They can't even go outside to have a fresh, like, hey, what a beautiful beach day. Oh, we're gonna get eaten by like the landscape. And this time they're like, oh well, we tracked it. We know where its lair is, but like our jetpacks, we don't have enough fuel for that. Our jetpacks are jetpacks, which is pretty cool because I thought at that point it's showing that they do have a distance. This isn't like some magical jetpack that uses the energy of space and time or whatever, and just like they can go anywhere. They actually have to fuel up. And
it's supposed to be the future. How do they not have a renewable energy
the
source?
future.
But like in Star Wars universe, you need to really suspend that belief though. Like, my blaster has unlimited ammo, but my jetpack can run out of fuel. It's like so.
Especially that dude with the chain gun, like not run out.
So, but don't ask questions.
My blaster takes all the energy from my jetpack.
So don't ask questions about that. But
I can't fly.
So yeah, so if does anybody else have anything they want to add about episode 4? Because I felt like it was a short episode and it was direct to the point. I feel like the only real plot point that was touched on was Grogu's past for once. And the rest of it was the rest of it was like a nice quest.
Seems we're kind of getting back into that. I checked out that what's this, Caloran Beck. Apparently, he was from a short little YouTube series where he was training younglings, and it wasn't necessarily canon, but now they sort of made it more canon and more relevant, seeing as it makes sense that if he was protecting all the younglings in that other YouTube series, then he kind of actually was there to help Grogu. It was apparently a YouTube series. It wasn't just like an actual Disney thing. So it was something that just some fan made it.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Wow, they made it an episode and ran with it and introduced it into canon. That's an honor, man, for someone out there.
Yeah.
If no one has anything, sorry, yeah.
No, I was just saying. So my hopes and dreams of having that character that I enjoyed in Rebels come back is not happening. Okay, fine. I don't care.
Yeah, fine, bro.
But no, for the episode, I actually thought it was pretty cool at the end that she was like, "Oh, I saw." That Beast when she's talking with what's her name and how Bo-Katan is actually getting back to her old ways, and she's like, I mean, she has nothing now, right? Like her castle got destroyed, so it's good to see she's not taking a rebel stance. It's good to see that. Well, good. I'm enjoying the fact that she's re-embracing her kind, and this is the way, and the Mandalorians, and she feels openly enough to say like, hey, I saw our mythical creature, and the armor making lady person who's really cool.
Armorer.
The armorer. Yeah,
I am an armor lady making person.
The armorer.
I know it sounds kind of like it falls flat. Everyone else has some kind of cool name. Like you have Bo-Katan, you have the other dude again with a chain gun. I don't even remember his name, but at least his name sounded cool. What?
His
chain gun guy.
Chain boot. You have him. You have Mando, which is Din Djarin. You have all these guys a cool name, and then here she comes in. I'm the armorer. Like,
well, he's kind of holding like a wrench and a hammer or something. So
I guess it's like medieval times where it's like, let's go seek counsel from the wise men.
I have the
outside of the lack of a name, she's actually pretty cool. I kind of
she has some of the best lines.
And how everyone respects her and whatever. And that going back to Bo-Katan looking at her and being like, listen, I saw our people. And she's not dismissing her. She's like, that's good. You have vision. She's like, no, I really saw her. And she's like,
yeah, we did.
To you really did. And it's like, so you get this kind of like, you're not getting me. Like, I have no reason to lie to you. I know this sounds like, hey, I want to be part of you guys, and I'm cool, and look what I saw. So there's this little tension there, which I thought was interesting. Where she was like, no, I really saw our mythical creature, and she's like, she's not dismissing her. It's just a really cool way of being like, in your mind, you did see it, because who knows what she really saw, right? We can't tell. She thinks she saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it wasn't.
And she's the only one who saw it.
I thought the episode. That's what I took away the most from it. I thought that was really. I enjoyed that a lot.
Like at the end of it, like for me too. Like I also for a second I was like, oh, maybe it was a vision that she saw after all, and she's actually re-embracing her Mandalorian ways. So and she's allowing herself to see things that she couldn't see before. So. Like, people that believe in religion, they'll see miracles sometimes and that kind of stuff when, no, it's just toast. It's not Jesus, but yeah.
Well, I'm glad they made that scene, because for me, that scene didn't make any sense. So,
when the thing...
water and then she sees this animal, I'm like, why didn't this animal eat her? Like everything else is eating each other.
Because it just woke up, man. It's on its fasting period. It just woke up. It's not gonna...
So,
on its fasting period.
If no one has anything else to add to the episode, just real quick, if you wanted to give it a rating all around, we'll start with Josh. 8 out of 10. Nice.
I actually really enjoyed myself I keep saying it, but as a Warcraft fan in video games and such, it was a fun episode. You had the little flying lizard thing. You had Grogu and the Jedi and the young Sam Jackson. I'm just going to call him with the two lightsabers. It was cool. Yeah. I enjoyed the episode overall.
Apparently a lot of people mistook that character for like a reimagined Mace Windu. They're like, oh, could they not get Sam Jackson? It's like, that's not who that is. But yeah,
motherfucker.
Apparently he's even supposed to have a purple lightsaber.
Oh really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, apparently, at least in the YouTube series.
Okay.
What about you, Danny?
Yeah, I have to give it an 8 too. I had a lot of fun with these. Both these episodes were a lot of fun, but this one, yeah, I liked it. I like that they're diving into the Mandalorian lore. I wasn't too sure where they were going to go with the series, especially with Grogu and Mando and that kind of bit of their whole saga kind of coming to a close. So like I didn't know where they were going to go, but I'm liking how they're doing this right now. I'm invested in the series.
Nice, very nice. And Joe and Allie, what do you guys think?
I give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, again with the fives. All right, fine. We'll go with fives.
Times it by 2. Times it by 2. It's a 9.
No, I agree. It was enjoyable. It was
Yeah.
enjoyable. It was a good one. 3 stars.
3 stars.
I'll agree with him.
Three stars out of 4.
Three out of yeah.
I give it 4.
3 out of 3.5.
3 out of 4. 4 out of 5.
He's like 4 kyber crystals out of 2 Death Stars. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah, no, I agree all around. One of the episodes I love the most. I'm with you guys. 8 or I don't know, 4 or 5. Yeah. So yeah, I'm definitely there. So and then today we got episode 5. So what I'll say is about episode 5 is when it started off. Again, I know I'm repeating myself, but holy crap, I'm blown away by the visuals in the show. The cinematography, the shots, man, it looks good. The angles, the lighting, it's just they're really, the creators of the show are really pouring their heart into it, and it really shows. And I find it really impressive since they just fired the president of VFX at LucasArts and Disney, so that's funny. But anyways, it's so the episode starts off. So the episode starts off. We're on Navarro. We're with Apollo Creed, and he's talking about people on how to expand this trade planet on the Outer Rim that they're trying to work on, right? And from there, the pirates show up because of what happened at what I believe is in episode 2, when they took out a few of their men. When him and the Mandalorian were on Navarro, and I have to say, like, it's almost video game-esque how they changed Navarro in a sense, like how dark and dingy it was, and now it's like, I don't know, it's like Venice in Italy or something. Like, it's gorgeous, and the sun showed up for some reason all of a sudden, but it looks really good. And I like the little banter that they have, him and this person on the the pirate leader, Green Moss guy, and I forgot his name. Apologies. And I like the little callback to the earlier Star Wars when I think it was Apollo Creed said, well, he shot first, bringing that whole Han Solo thing. Yeah, it's bringing all that back.
Oh, you're talking about Greedo?
Yeah.
And then we have the Rebellion or New Republic. I'm not sure what to call them because they have the Rebellion logo, but I guess they adopted it for the New Republic. I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is the New Republic.
Orange versus red.
Okay. It's some kind of bar or base that they're hanging out in, and you see the pilots hanging out. It's like a military base. It looks pretty cool, and you get the call. You get the call for help from what's Apollo Creed's character's name? I'm sorry, it's Kara or
Grief Karga.
Grief Karga. Sorry, Karga. And that's when we get to that specific actor who plays the Rebellion starfighter. I think he's some. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. For those who know, he's someone that's established in this world, right? In the lore.
It seems so.
Is he or is he not?
Who, Grief Karga?
No. The Rebellion starfighter who goes to Coruscant to get permission.
The X-wing guy.
Yeah, corner gas guy.
Oh right, yeah, Blue. I think so. I apparently he appeared in another episode. I think it was probably in season 2.
No, but in the overall Star Wars,
the guys who were like patrolling and they first stopped Mandalorian, they're like, "Hey, this is a stop." You're talking about that guy?
Yeah.
There's like a Chuck, like the pudgier character and the skinny guy.
But they're not establishing like the movie timeline or anything. It's just in the TV show. Okay, gotcha. So anyways, he heads over to Coruscant to ask for permission from his higher ups to try and to help the city from whatever's going to happen to them. And obviously, Coruscant didn't sign the agreement to be a part of the new Republic, and which means, hey, Bundat, you're on your own. So I forgot who I wanted to pose this question to, but I believe it was Josh. Yeah, it was Josh. But for Josh, what I wanted to know was that last time on the previous review that we did, we talked about how there was like in episode 3 they were setting up the New Republic as a bad thing, which is why push a doctor to do something. And this episode seems to be going along that message again. I wanted to know what you thought about that, and do you still think it's heading that way and where it's going? Like, what are they trying to do with the New Republic?
I still definitely think that they traded one shitty government for another, to be fair. Yeah. I think that was just my general consensus last time. It's just, I don't know. Because, like, they seem to want to, like, restrict freedom and not help anybody. And they're like, as long as you're part of us, we'll help you. But if you're not, then I guess too bad, so sad. And that just doesn't really scream like a good thing to me if they're not willing to help somebody and show their faith. It's like, you have to prove something to me, not other way around kind of scenario. So, I get bad vibes from this New Republic, and I don't think it's going to really turn out too great.
And do you think...
I know that's a big statement, but whatever.
Do you guys think that's going to play into the movie somehow? How the New Republic will fall? Or because it seems like the show is setting up the New Republic to not necessarily be the answer.
That'd be messed up if they actually ended up to be like the new Empire. Yeah. If they ended up being Imperials? I keep forgetting what the bad guys are called. Imperials, thank you. Oh, same thing.
Galactic Empire.
But, yeah. The dark side. So,
what were the main group called in the newer movies?
The First
I
Order.
thought it was the New Republic. Oh, right, the First Order. I don't know why I was thinking the New Republic. Yeah, First Order.
Weren't they supposed to like just kind of like axe the new movies and just kind of reboot it or try again?
We have no idea.
That's the rumor. That's the rumor that's been passed around. I think that's what people want, but
I honestly feel like it would be a good idea just because of how like the vibe of how the shows have been going. It seems like the shows seem a lot more serious than the movies. And the movies, you would think that'd be a little more serious, no? Considering...
Well, yeah, because...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Specifically...
That's why there's a lot of people who are, like... What was it? Last episode, we had talked about the whole Veil of the Force, and that has to do with a lot of time travel-y stuff that they talked about, I think, in one of the 2 stories that had come out. A lot of people have been saying, like, hey, if you want to reboot it and make it seem legit, do that. Use that as your cop-out.
Yeah,
because they technically can, but it would. I think it'd be.
They can also literally just reboot it.
Yeah,
and say we're starting from scratch. It's another universe, sure.
There you go. I honestly think it'd be a good idea. But yeah, back to I don't know, the New Republic thing. It's just I get really bad vibes. Like I don't feel like they're portraying themselves as the good guys they think they are. Like they don't have an enemy anymore. They're the only government now that has like all the control, or trying to seize all the control, trying to seize all the Imperial's technologies and all that stuff. So I don't know. I just don't get a good vibe from them.
Right, and the fact that they're willing to let an innocent bunch of people perish just because they didn't sign up with them.
I feel it's very reflective on how governments are nowadays, where it's like, yeah, I just want to have complete control. Fuck what the general public thinks, or fuck helping them. Or, sorry, screw helping them. Whatever.
And in that specific scene, we reintroduced the Imperial chick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know if you marked out like I did, but like, yeah, the asshole guy that they're trying to get the permission to help from was Tim Meadows. I thought it was kind of funny that they had another comedian.
Yeah.
They had Bill Burr before, and now they have Tim Meadows, and he just acts like Tim Meadows. It's great.
But yeah,
but I mean, they didn't sign
Saturday Night Live, I think.
Yeah, Tim Meadows, Saturday Night Live. Okay. But I mean, going through the episode, just like to put on there, they didn't sign the commission, right? They didn't sign their treaty or whatever. So to a certain point, I mean, if you're going to be part of us, we can help you. They're not going to send resources. This isn't the rebels anymore, who are like, we have to help anybody who's in distress and they're trying to make a name for themselves, and they're trying to build the up and comers, the rebels. They're hiding from the Imperials, so they're going to come to the planet, just like the last 3 movies. Now it's like they're here. The rebellion won. We're here. You want to sign with us? Yes, no? You guys, what do you want to do? My hands are tied. You didn't want to sign. Now you want to sign because now you're in trouble? Okay, well, you know how much paperwork that what am I supposed to tell my council? Okay, let's send resources here for you guys to be like, we're still not ready to sign yet. Doesn't work that way. Right? So it does give a bad taste.
The opposite could still happen too, right? Like you could, they're unwilling to sign because it's still shady. They know nothing about these guys, and plus Apollo Creed, he used to kind of be a bad guy, right? So, so like, I don't know, for them to be like, oh, you want help? Well, we won't sign. Okay, cool. So let's say now that they got over the fact, like the Mandalorians helped them and everything. Sorry to spoil that. Whatever. Yeah, they got help. So what's to say? What's to really entice them to want to join the New Republic then? If anything,
But I thought that's what
it would actually sway them to be the opposite. No,
I thought that's what the Imperial chick was trying to hint at when she was saying like how maybe you need a different perspective. When Blue was asking for permission to go help them, I was like maybe they need to see what we can provide in order to get us to sign. But
yeah, I feel like Blue was right. Like you should have helped because then it would have like reinforced the fact that join us. At least you'd have protection as opposed to you don't want to join. That kind of sucks.
The mafia. It's protection money. It's like,
well, yeah, but they have the right to be that arrogant at this point, right? I mean, not everyone's
they're the only people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're the only opposing. It's like wrestling with WWE, right? And everybody else has been bought out. So who's going to compete? So they were cool going several years being complete crap and John Cena being the face constantly. Like when you have no competition, it's easy to be the big guy. But then what's to say that one day another big guy is going to show up and then all the people you just negated to help go with them because you negated to help? Like that's not a good foreshadowing moment.
I know, but on the other side of being contracts, it's like there was a time and the place, and it's like, well, now you want to negotiate. It's like, all right, are you willing to come in? Fine. I don't know. It was a bit of both. It was a bit of both.
No, I could agree. I could agree. It's probably a bit of both. Yeah.
I guess they didn't show the
what were the New Republic? What were they in the original movies? Like I'm very fuzzy when it comes to original movies. You had the Empire, and then who was he opposing? Just rebels? Like they didn't have
the Republic.
Rebels were kind of like everybody on the count, everyone in the big in the big Senate who's like, hey, are you with the Imperials? Yeah, they kind of landed on my planet. Damn it. Okay, well, we'll move resources. Or like, no, Imperials are here. I'm building for them. No problem.
Okay, so it was always Imperials and Republic, right?
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Imperials and sorry, what was Imperials and what?
Republic.
No, the Republic was
the Republic is the rebels.
Okay. Yeah. Just to clear it up for our
the Old Republic, you mean?
Okay. Pardon?
Because it was the Old Republic, right? That was Padme and all that, and that's when the Senate started changing, and they were like doing all these like back deals with. They didn't know at the time was the Sith, and then it was the senator who came in, excuse me. Oh my God.
Palpatine?
The Emperor.
Yeah. Lightning.
Do it.
Very good.
And, so you had the old what they call the Old Republic and
Nah, I think I understood.
The robot people that
back to video games just kind of reappeared in my head.
After it was the Rebels against the Imperials, and then the later movies was the First Order against the Galactic not the First Order against the New Republic. So it's just Old Republic, Rebels, New Republic.
Understood.
Droid guys, the name just eludes me. Galactic Empire, First Order.
Good.
That's how
and then Scum. Scum and villainy.
Like, there's a reason why there's a fucking encyclopedia for Star Wars, man. Jesus. It's anyways. And dictionaries. Dictionaries for whole languages.
I have to look it up now because it's killing me. It's the stupid robots, and the reason why they switched the robots to clones because the robots were constantly getting destroyed.
The droids. We just call them droids, no? The droid army?
No. But the
Terminator.
The council. What was it called? Oh my God. Well, this is why I'm not the guy to go to for Star Wars. I should know this.
I don't know, but the guy who's...
You're talking about the Stormtroopers?
No, when you had the Old Republic, which was technically the good guys, against the Senate. But it wasn't the Senate. It was called something. They were was it the Separatists?
Federation? Possibly.
Anyways, moving on. So, so after we have the scene where Blue goes to Coruscant to get approval, then we get Apollo Creed walking through the desert like Moses, leading his people to salvation, trying to protect them. And he zooms in. He sees Coruscant being destroyed and absolutely demolished. And then we get a shot of Blue actually finding the Mandalorians' hideout and their base. And yeah, you guys were right. R5 was definitely a warrior. So, 100%. So there you go. Theory confirmed. That long thing that I cut out came right back in this episode.
Oh, you're gonna have to put it right back in.
No, but I was wrong. I was wrong about R5. It wasn't the. I was right about him knowing that stuff. Excuse me, guys. I still have my cold.
Yeah, sorry.
Excuse me. Yeah, I was right, but he wasn't. Oh, thank you. He wasn't Wedge on Tilly's R5. Daniel was correct. He wasn't Wedge on R5, but he was an R5 unit.
And he did see combat, so he was definitely so R5 was the reason Blue was able to find the Mandalorians.
The reason R2 got picked. Just go with that.
And I really like that Blue did that, and he went straight to the Mandalorians and proposed, like, hey, if you guys want to do something good, this is your opportunity.
He's such a good
take
guy.
Care of something. Who, Blue or Mandalorian?
Yeah, I just like his character. He's like a wholesome guy who legitimately wants to do the right thing, but he just so happens to be the police.
Honestly, I really like this character too. I don't remember seeing him before, but like you guys mentioned, he was there before. I don't remember him, and I do remember he was in that TV show where he was like a Korean father, they own a corner store.
Yeah. I've definitely seen him in other things before.
But the only time I've ever seen like patrols or read about patrols of the rebels doing patrols and being like, oh, we're a force to be reckoned with because we're patrolling the area. Like, you don't mess with the rebels or the Red Squadron, Blue Squadron, Green Squadron, Green Squadron. Is when we played Outer Rim with Daniel.
Okay, and it makes sense.
Outer Rim, you have to, like, as scum and villainy and whatever, what do you got to do? If you end up into it, like, I'm like, what? You got to bump into a rebel patrol? Okay, sure. And it's like, it's true. The rebels they made names for themselves in the galaxy to be like, oh yeah, don't mess with that squadron because
and right after that, after they talk about this, and Blue tells Mandalorian, "Yo, you owe this guy," or he makes him realize that he owes this guy, and he has to help him out as best as he can. Then we get a Mandalorian tribal council, and they're passing around this hammer to have a discussion, which I thought was really nice.
I like that scene actually.
I thought that was quite nice. How they developed that, and it shows you how they handle their situations within their society. They're beyond just killers, right? And you're seeing them handle the foundlings. You're seeing how they handle their own politics. I have
to ask a question over here. Like, was anyone else like? I wouldn't say necessarily impressed, but like one of those like my boy moments when like the big dude, I don't know what his name is, but the big Mandalorian, he was like at first about to shit talk Mando or whatever. I keep forgetting his name, but he's about to shit talk. You're like, we shouldn't be able to help, blah, 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 blah. But then he turns around, but my son, he helped my son. It was a noble day. And he ended on a huge speech. I don't know, man. It, like, after seeing him be like a pseudo enemy or a rival the entire time, just for him to completely have his back, because in the episode prior, like he helped out and saved his son, and then it didn't really bite him in the ass, and it actually really helped his cause. I liked seeing it. I thought it was a good, genuine moment.
Yeah,
so I was curious.
Kind of like a feeling of relief to be like, okay, that's over with. There's not gonna be any kerfuffles within or inner drama.
If anything, it made it more tight, right?
That was the most important thing, is that in that scene I realized, okay, there won't be any inner drama. This isn't going to turn into like 90210. Like we're fine. Yeah, no. It's going to be.
It was nice to see like they're a tribe and they actually came to be a tribe, and so it was cool. It's cool.
I don't want to sidetrack too much, but I want to add to that because of the whole thing with Boba Fett and how a lot of the fans didn't like the Boba Fett story because they were expecting bounty hunter, go out, go kill your people, not kill your people, but find your bounties, get into trouble, blast your way out of problems, and then all they got was a story, and they didn't like it. But this is kind of like, I find it's like it's redeeming it. It's like, no, the Mandalorians aren't about that, and if the true fans of the Mandalorians know that.
Well, didn't Boba Fett kind of renounce his Mandalorian-ness? Like, he's like, oh, you're Boba Fett. Like when I could mistake me if I'm wrong. Didn't he be like pretty much verbatim just be like, yo, fuck them, I don't care, they're not really me.
He's dead. He was swallowed by the tarmac, right? The tarmac.
Yeah.
Sarlacc.
The tarmac. Yeah.
The tarmac. We're coming in hot.
No, not too hot.
So I mean, he earned it, really, like, and then he was captured and whatever. So to me, like, that story made sense, but I can understand how the fans were like, you could have done something else with that. But I mean,
to be honest, I like
everything you just said was like, it redeemed everything. It's like, oh yeah, let's focus on the Mandalorians, and like, they're not just bounty hunters and ruthless people. They're just that's their race. That's what they do.
Yeah, they have their honor and everything. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, I thought I heard somewhere that Boba Fett wasn't really part of that anymore. Like, he pretty much renounced it. He doesn't care. So he's completely
I don't know.
taking off his helmet. He's completely cool with not saying that's the way, like, and all that stuff. He just renounced it. He's a clone. Who cares, kind of thing.
So, so beyond that, after we have the Mandalorian Tribal Council, and I think Din Djarin says he wants a petition for intervention, that kind of stuff, and he talks about doing the right thing. He has to help this guy, but there's a caveat to this. He does say like how we can have a home. We don't have to run anymore. Like we can have somewhere we can stay, which is also a motivating factor, I believe, for them to take their decisions. So really liked how they did that, and then you see them preparing after I don't know what do we call him, the big Mandalorian with the chain gun there. I don't know.
God. His name is Paz.
Small head, big body, chain man.
Paz. What's it? Paz Viz.
As Vizsla?
You know what?
Yeah, that's
I'm
Paz
just
Vizsla.
I'm just gonna call him Dozer.
Just call him Paz. Just call him Paz.
Yo, Bozo.
Dozer. There you go.
Dozer. Paz Mazzy.
I'm gonna call him Dozer, and I'll call his son Truck. So
Nice.
So after we had that scene where they all agreed that they're gonna go and they're gonna help, they're gonna do this, then we hear out of nowhere, and it's not to me. I want to get specifically. It was a question I wanted to ask to Danny. We see Bo-Katan taking the lead, coming up with the plan, executing the plan, and just overall trying to lead these tribes beyond Din Djarin and the armor and Dozer. Like she's the one that she just grabs the handle and she takes over. And I wanted to know from Danny is like, for instance, like for me this episode it propped up Bo-Katan, right? To me, she took a little bit of center stage. I don't know if you agree with that.
I do. I find that they've been pushing her a lot more. I like what they're doing. My only concern is I hope this is going to be like what they've done in a lot of other series, where it's like, hey, we're going to do this entire series about this one guy, and then they don't, and then they just focus entirely on somebody else. But they haven't really gotten to that point. Like they haven't forced it completely down like your throat. Like it's like, hey, we have Hawkeye, but we're just going to deal with her daughter. Or hey, we have Loki, but we're going to deal with female Loki.
We have Boba Fett, but we're going to deal with the Mandalorian later.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to deal with the Mandalorian and Fennec Shand, and just like they seem like they were maybe about to head in that direction, and then they haven't fully committed to it. So far, like I like what they're doing. I like that they're kind of propping it up. I would have liked it more if maybe Mando was trying to do that, considering he was also the one at the very beginning of the series, kind of going out dealing with people for the clan. But it does make sense for Bo-Katan, considering she was out there a lot more so from beforehand. Okay. So I like where they're going. I'm curious to see where it's gonna end up. I just hope that she doesn't take the entire spotlight for it, and then we don't really get much with like Mando and Grogu. Like right now, they just kind of seem they're there for, hey, they were in the first two seasons. Let's keep them going.
So overall, the Bo-Katan story arc works for you. You like it. You like how they're building her up, like how she was against her creed. She sees the mythosaurs, and now she's reintroduced her creed, and now she's kind of trying to take charge and lead her people in the right direction. You like the story arc. You like her character arc. Sorry.
Yeah, I like what they're trying to do. Yeah, I can definitely say that.
There's something there. He wants to say something. He's like, I feel like he wants to go, but Mando.
A little bit. There's a little part of me. It's like okay, like the first two seasons, it was a lot with Mando, and then everyone else kind of came into it. Whereas now it feels like Mando is like there. It's like they pepper him in and they put them where they need to for that moment, but then they're kind of focusing on everybody else. But I like that they're building up the lore of the Mandalorians. They're kind of propping up like a Bo-Katan as well. Mm-hmm. But I'm worried that they're going to be focusing entirely on Bo-Katan, and they're not going to show you much with Mando. I'd like to see more of what's going on with Grogu and why he had a bit of that flashback, and maybe go more into it. I don't know if there was some more of that going on in Book of Boba Fett while he was trading with Luke. It wouldn't surprise me. That's part of the reason why he changed directions. But yeah, I'll tell you that. I hope that they don't sideline Mando and Grogu.
Okay, fair enough. I don't think they will, but it's just like they are shining a spotlight on someone else for now, and I think it's for a good story arc for the overall.
Bo-Katan has been already established in previous series, so like these new Mandalorians, I mean, they're cool, but I'm not interested. Like I'm like whatever. Okay, it's cool. They have a clan and each one, but it's about Grogu. It's about Din Djarin and now Bo-Katan. She might get her own offshoot eventually, but we needed a secondary Mandalorian, if you will, to go back and forth because she's gonna do something. She's gonna do something else. They're gonna definitely spin her out somewhere else.
I feel like because of what was going on with Gina Carano and that whole huge fiasco that happened way back in the day, that's where they had to kind of put things. Because apparently Gina Carano's character, what was her name, Cara Dune, was supposed to be taking a lot of the center stage in this series.
Yeah.
So I feel like because of what happened, they had to sideline that whole story arc and put in somebody else. But they at least Bo-Katan makes sense, and it's working out for them pretty nicely.
And she's already an established character that people love, from what I understand. So
I had no idea who she was. So it is interesting to actually see it.
And follow-up question for Joe, straight up. I wanted to know, like, for instance, like in this episode for me, I noticed a lot of tiny things. For a person who's not a Star Wars fan, I noticed a couple of things that were like a lot of callbacks to the original, like, you know, who shot first type of situation. Apollo Creed sending out a little hologram for people to say, "Oh my God, help me, save me!" A little callback to A New Hope. You know what I mean? It's like so. It's a lot of these little moments, and apparently there's more that I didn't spot in this episode. I don't know if you saw them, or if you wanted to mention them. And how, like, I wanted to know, how much do you think is the show striking a good balance in between fan service and development of this new story?
I think so. I don't think they're overdoing it. I think it's nice to see because it kind of ties everything into, and I think it's a little nudge to be like, don't forget, you know, remember the good times we had. Remember that scene in the cantina, even though it has nothing to do with this, but like,
the member berries.
The member berries.
Well, that's it. So like when I'm watching it, and then like my wife's watching it, and she doesn't, you know, she's not picking up on that, but I am. It's like, okay, it makes you. It's a feel good moment, really. What it is when you can make that connection. When you see R5 and you're like, that's an R5 unit. I know that. That's oh yeah, he shot first. The whole thing. The whole like, oh, that reminds me of the Leia thing. Like, oh yeah, like it's good. It's enough of it. It's not too annoying. As long as they don't drench it in that, it's fine. Because I still do want to see a new
as long as
series.
he doesn't float into space and try to grab something with the Force.
Well, yeah, as long as that doesn't happen, it's fine. You know, it's like,
We'll start seeing characters fly through space. And am I crazy, or did I see General Akbar in that rebel bar, chilling, hanging out with the other
Yeah,
pilots?
you saw one of those goldfish heads, yeah.
Okay, okay, so
they're calamari from the planet Calamari.
That's
okay.
hilarious.
And they all look the same?
That's just hilarious.
Yeah, they have the
I
fish
have sea
eyes.
bass from the planet Sea Bass.
But wait, do they actually all look the same?
Well, all those, yeah, that's their race. That's
It's a trap.
yeah.
Yeah. Stay away from that one. All right. To continue on with the episode now. So after we have the Bo-Katan leading the war party, and then we get a very small scene of, you know, pirates on Navarro just being assholes, pushing people around, smacking them around, George moving bricks because they're slaves now, all kinds of stuff. All this happened within, like, I don't know, a day or two, and then we get Star Wars, ships fighting, flying around, explosions, really well done.
Very much reminded me of X-Wing.
The reason why I'm watching this show.
Yeah,
there's wars.
I have to ask Joe one quick thing. Does the pirate ship not look like a Romulan warbird? It's just the front tip of it.
Well, I mean, like, I think a little bit from that. I don't want to say I don't like mixing the two, but I mean, like, whatever. It's a good. When I saw it, I'm like, did they? Okay, they. Because I'm watching Picard at the same time.
Yeah.
And the episode I'm on now, they just stole the cloaking device from the Romulan warbird. And I'm like, if this thing cloaks, I'm out. But other than that,
so we get Star Wars finally, and then we also get to see a Mandalorian invasion, which I thought was fucking badass. It was nice to see them drop out of the ship and just be like, you know, straight up, I'm here to chew gum and kick ass, and I'm out of bubble gum. Let's go. And I was down. I was in. I was pumped. I liked it. I thought it was a great scene. The only thing that pissed me off was that everybody had Stormtrooper aim. Everybody. and I don't know why. Like, I wish it was a little more intense, the action, because I felt no concern for anyone in that fight. You know, despite they did lose people in that fight. You know, they lost people. And
Did the Mandalorians lose people?
Yeah. Yeah, quite a few
Are
of
you
them.
talking about the space battle or the ground battle?
The ground battle now.
Okay.
Yeah, the Mandalorians did use quite a few people. It just pissed me off to see like there were 3 Mandalorians standing in a corner and they were being surrounded, and they're literally like 10 feet away. It's like, and nobody can hit each other. I was like, okay, whatever. Stormtrooper in, big deal. So what?
They have deflectors, right? It's like, to me, it's the same. It's the same.
The pirates don't. These bounty hunters can't hit them.
Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe they got small deflectors on them.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I go back to the Death Star trench run. Like, if we're gonna be like how I think about it and how I see it, how they're missing, right? Like, you're not sitting there with like a sniper and you have time to like, and they don't have auto aim and whatever. So you're shooting a laser beam that can be deflected. And so I go back to the Death Star trench run where you've got these massive cannons on one end shooting. There's not much space, and these Y-wings are coming, and they're not hitting them at all. They're just pew, pew, because you've got this laser cannon coming, and that's what he says. He says, divert all power to front deflectors. So you have a deflector, which is acting like a shield, so they can't actually target. They try to shoot, but the laser gets moved up through energy because the shield pulse, unless you get like a direct hit, perfect shot, whatever. So I'm thinking, even on ground battles, Stormtrooper, but then again, they did shoot at Luke Skywalker. My theory just went out the window because they did shoot at Luke Skywalker and they missed him a lot of times, and he had no deflectors. So,
but that's something I didn't know about.
There's an actual theory about that. There's an actual theory about that they wanted them to they didn't want to shoot them in A New Hope because they wanted them to survive to get back to their planet and figure out where the rebel base was. So they were shooting at them, but they actually had that horrible aim so that they could escape and you know. So they could track them to the rebel base.
So back to my theory that makes sense. The Mandalorians have deflectors.
That makes perfect sense. It makes total sense.
I mean, like I was like, oh, okay, forget about my theory. It doesn't make sense. But I'm like, okay, if we use the Daniel's theory, then my theory now makes sense. Okay,
that makes sense again.
So, to wrap up the episode quickly, obviously Mandalorians win the fight after the armor sneaks up behind someone, Splinter sells him, takes him out, and then we get Mandalorians finally have a home. They actually have somewhere they can call home. And Moff Gideon, what the hell? Apollo Creed. He pulled a I don't know, like an Aragorn, like, you know, you shall bow to no one. Like, hey, we owe these guys. We give you a piece of land. You stay here from now on. This is your home. And honestly, I don't know why, but it's weird to say this. I got choked up. I thought it was nice.
No, I was nodding like an idiot with one of those.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's so sweet. Finally, they have a home, you know, and their families can do shit.
In the end credits, dun, dun, dun,
yeah. Nah.
I can go to bed with purpose.
So after that, we get
home. Now it's time to sleep.
So then we get Bo-Katan is told to remove her helmet. Armor says, hey, you need to go out and unite our people across the stars, like Optimus Prime, you know, sending a message out across, everyone come to me, I found a home for us. And I don't understand the purpose of her removing her helmet to do that. I don't know why she had to do that. They said she could live amongst both worlds. Like, what, she's a daywalker, I guess. I didn't fully understand that, to be honest. Why she had to take off her helmet in order to fulfill that quest. And then after that, we get the small scene of Blue flying out into space on patrol, sees a ship, shot the shit, and a bunch of dead people inside. And guess what? Moff Gideon was in it, and he's gone. And the rumors are true. Someone busted him out. What I'm curious to know if anyone has any ideas as to who, because he says it's Beskar armor. Oh yeah, he says it's Beskar armor that's found in the ship. And I was like, is there any prominent Mandalorians that come to mind that would do this apart from Boba Fett or Mandalorian?
Didn't Bo-Katan say that her people, the people that she was with, like, go off and do something else?
Oh yeah, the people that were living amongst her castle like fucked off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
like the people you saw in the
what the hell is that?
What?
You okay?
Is it a spooky ghost?
Sorry, hello?
Hi.
Dio,
Okay.
Hey.
Yo, I have no idea what that was.
what happened?
I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this moment because I know you're gonna edit this out in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
clip.
yeah,
Yeah. I got to bail. I
Okay.
came in. I'm sorry. I came in. Didn't think to check if you guys had done live because the last message I saw was Daniel saying I'm still downloading. So I figured I'd have a chance to talk with you guys a bit first, and because I kind of rushed or whatever. But it's still my wife's birthday and she's upstairs by herself, so I know I'm gonna get
No,
there.
absolutely, man.
So I didn't want to lose the form. I tried to make it in at least for the form. So I appreciate all that. So I'm gonna bail out. Do what you got to do, and I hope I didn't screw up the flow of anything for
No,
the
no,
cast.
no,
I
not at
don't
all.
want to lose the
No.
floor. If I could do it, I could do it. I just got home. I'm like, oh, I have time.
We didn't get there. We didn't get there from Ali though. You're good, right, Ali? You're not upset.
No, we're good.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I'm just here to be a pretty face. That's it.
Oh,
Oh,
sounds like someone told you to say that. Okay.
No, she's not arrogant. It's fine. Of
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for stopping by, guys. I really appreciate it.
course. Thanks.
Have a good night.
take it easy.
I turn off this fucking thing.
Come on, leave.
I'm trying to leave. I can't leave.
Fuck.
There we go. Yeah, no, I don't know what happened. Like, some extremely loud static started happening in my ears to the point where it was deafening me. I don't know what it was, and the stream was picking up the sound from my headset. So I think everyone heard that. I apologize. So I just muted the stream immediately and tried to deal with that.
Okay.
So yeah, so we were at the end. Moff Gideon, he's back, and that's pretty much it. That's what we have for this episode.
Yeah, I think it might be the people who saw. Like, did you watch the other seasons?
I did.
Yeah, because you saw Bo-Katan before, and she had like two other people. One of them was a professional wrestler that goes under the name of Sasha Banks from WWE, and she's someone else now. Anyways, but that's how I know her.
Wait, she, okay.
Yeah, she was Sasha Banks, WWE
Yeah,
Okay.
wrestler. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe they might come back. Maybe they're doing something else. This is a bad explanation, but maybe they're doing something else, or they're hiring a job, or maybe they need him.
I just wanted to ask to see if anybody
just think
who knew the
maybe
lore, like if there's something that came to mind, because it's like when you go see a Marvel movie and there's an end credit scene and you look at your Marvel friend like, okay, what does that mean? I didn't know if it was that kind of moment. You know what I mean? So to wrap it up, I wanted to know what you like if you had to give it a rating now. What rating did this episode get for you guys?
1,000.
Over 9,000.
I would give it an 8.
Still an 8.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Like I like the fighting. I like the not really starship fighting, but anyways, the pew pew. Yeah. And I like to see the togetherness of the Creed, and I like to see how the Mandalorians did their thing. I don't know. I thought overall it's not too bad. I did have nitpicks here and there, like these guys are playing laser tag, but no one's getting tagged. So that seemed a little weird.
That annoyed me. Honestly, I was getting mad. I was like, "Yo, come on!"
It was a little weird. They're like pew 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 pew. We're trained. Pew 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 pew. Like. You're missing a lot, but I don't know. I thought their tactics would have been also a little better for somebody who's supposed to know the terrain and know how to do things and blah blah blah. Like you couldn't take down pirates. But, well, they did. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but aside from that, the ship fighting was cool. The Creed thing was cool. Like I don't know. Most of the episode was just cool. I enjoyed myself.
What about you, Danny?
I give it an 8.5.
Ah,
I thought it was. I thought it was. I like both episodes. This one was a lot more fun. Like the other one was cool because you got to see a lot more of the lore. This one a little bit more so, but had some pretty decent action. The ships, the fighting, the everything going on. I had a good time with it. Like I said, just like Josh, there's some nitpicks. Mine is probably a little bit more like, are they going to be focusing a lot more on Bo-Katan and not so much on Mando? I'm hoping not, but
yeah.
for now it's going in the right direction. I like where they're going.
Yeah. For me, same. I would go. I'm almost willing to give this a 9. That's how much I liked it. Not just because like you would give that to an episode that's like perfect storytelling, perfect character development, that kind of stuff. But I want to give it a 9 for another reason, is because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic episode. Good exploration of characters. Love seeing the Creed more. I got Star Wars. Pew pew pew. All of it. It was wonderful. And but there were some things that I noticed that I wrote down that I wanted to just mention, and it's that I like how they're developing Bo-Katan's story arc. yet it's not pulling away too much from Mandalorian. It is pulling away from him, but not too much. I think they're balancing it
I'm
okay.
okay with it. I'm absolutely okay with that, actually, because like it's cool that you have the Mandalorian, whatever. Like, I already forgot his name. Din
Djarin.
Him and Grogu, and it's cool to see like the relationship and so on and so on. But like realistically, there's still two people in the middle of something bigger. So it's cool to you have to see the other parts, like, and them obviously. Absolutely. But no, it's cool to see somebody else have a center stage because it would make a lot more sense. Like Bo-Katan's doing her thing. Why should he care? Because like, he's trying to train Grogu. Like there's not exactly a huge thing that needs to be discovered. It's very simple.
And
So,
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, I feel like it works too, considering she is kind of a fan favorite. We're dealing with the whole Mandalorian creed and all that. So to kind of have it all work out in a nice little bow, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I thought it was really really well done.
And the other thing that I noticed is that we have an episode where the Mandalorian is very present in it. I like it. And guess who's not present in it as much? Grogu. Is that really?
I'm still okay with that.
You don't see him. You don't see him. You don't hear him. There's no cute scenes. And guess what? It was still fucking great.
Yep. Because you didn't need him. There was no point.
And to me, that's important. It's important for the writers and the creators of the show to know you don't have to like insert Disney cute meme at every single other take. You know, you can tell your story. You know, and I really like that the episode did that.
He was literally only in there like 3 scenes. He was in the fighter. He was in the camp scene.
Yeah.
And then the only other thing was like that was kind of cutesy was those other small little robot fixing dudes.
Yeah, exactly. So that was definitely, I don't know why, but it reminded me of the aliens that smoke cigarettes and are hanging out in the coffee shop in Men in Black.
Yeah. What do you want, Jay?
Yeah, exactly. So I really like that they didn't have to show Grogu, and it was still a fantastic episode.
Absolutely.
And that's important. They have to understand that you don't have to make every episode a cute episode. It can be,
and it doesn't have to be convoluted. That's what I like about the Mandalorian so far, is that it's not this elaborate shit. You don't need like 20 different things. It's very simple. You have an issue, they solve it, cool, move on.
Exactly.
Cool. Like, you know, it seems day to day.
Think about it. In this episode, Navarro was doing fine, got attacked by pirates. We found out that the rebellion wouldn't help. Rebellion found the Mandalorians, recruited them. Mandalorians went over, kicked ass, found a home, and now are being sent out on a quest to find their people and bring them back home. Question: does it feel rushed?
Nope.
No, so far, not really.
Does it sound like you can fit that in 36 minutes?
With
I feel like where you're going with this is somehow
No.
Our previous review. Okay.
I think it's amazing.
I think good. Yeah. No, because like it's such good pacing, they don't have so much detail to cram. They just have points.
Yeah.
This is 1 point. That's 1 point. That's 1 point. Let the episode show itself. You could have six different story plots and still have a fantastic episode in 30 minutes.
And to be honest, the reason why I think I'm not sticking too much on the fact that it's moving fast and they're not slowing anything down to like really extrapolate is because I won't lie, they're giving us a lot of eye candy, a lot of beautiful shots, a lot of cool things. So at the same time, it's entertaining my basic side. You know what I mean? Like, we're Fast and Furious. So yeah. So that's pretty cool. And the other thing that I noticed, and I'm a huge fan of old movies. I'm a huge fan of the classics and that kind of stuff. And this episode, to me, 100% an homage to a classic Western, which is what the Mandalorian's supposed to be, a Western.
Yeah, that's what Star Wars is supposed to be.
Exactly. And it was 100% Magnificent Seven. Bad guys take over innocent town. People go to recruit outlaws to defend innocent people, and the outlaws then save innocent people and find, depending on which version of the Magnificent Seven, they find a new home. So,
I'm very curious to see how the rest of that turns out to be. Yeah, because like you say, you have a piece of land. I'm curious to know, are they just going to chill in caves again? Are they actually going to have buildings, settlements? Like, I'm curious.
I'm hoping we get a lot of scenes where you some children from Navarro are going to run over and see what foundlings do, and they're like, holy shit.
You want to be a Mandalorian too? You get a helmet.
So I really like how they paid homage to like an old Western for a show that they marketed as a modern Western. I thought that was really nice. But a couple of things I did wonder about is, like, for instance, like, where the hell? Okay, so like, for instance, Dozer. Where did he get Truck? Is that actually his son?
Yeah.
So he had relations.
I assume so.
I mean, basically, he plowed some Mandalorian trick with his helmet on, I
You
guess.
could totally keep your helmet on. You want to make out? Sure. Bang, bang, bang. Ah.
So okay, so the ones that don't want children, they wear like a Beskar condom or something. Okay, got you.
They put a helmet on their face.
All right. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. That's all we got for the episode 5, which I think is fantastic. And again, I'm actually looking forward to waiting to seeing the next episode. It's not like The Last of Us or anything else where I was like, oh, okay, so when the next episode come out, I'll burn that bridge when I get to it, you know. Whereas now I'm more like, I can't wait to see the next episode. I want to see where the story goes.
I'm having a lot of fun watching it.
Especially since it's hinted that they are going to recruit the Mandalore people to retake Mandalore, that country that was, that planet that was overrun by gas or whatever it was.
So curious about that because you saw those, I want to say cave dwellers, but those things.
Yeah.
The very yeah. The primal guys, yeah, and then you had that one robot thing with the eye. I'm curious to know what that was too.
Yeah, what
was it doing?
When I saw it, I was like, "Oh, look, it's Discount Krang." It's like
those battles.
Oh man, but those creatures that attacked them, the Discount Turtles, they when Bo-Katan was there, I think she was explaining to Grogu like how these things lived outside of our town, like they're not mutated, they haven't evolved, they were already there, they just they didn't live within that realm, so they're not new enemies to that planet, but obviously they've overtaken it because nothing is actually wrong with the planet. So yeah,
I'm very curious to see what else is there, what could happen.
Yeah.
Makes me excited.
Fantastic. Well, boys, thank you so much for joining me for the review today. And we'll catch you guys next time for episode 6.
Sexy.
Finger guns. Pew pew. I'm missing.
Oh, God.